Jay, Finny.
Ready? Yeah. 2021 Vision. This is Words, Music, and Dance.
This is a Silk exclusive.
All right, Fanny, so anything exciting happened to you this week?
I mean, the most exciting thing I did was family stuff, man. I went to
That's exciting.
Disney on Ice.
Okay.
With a bunch of kids.
And you loved it more than the kids did.
Singing Disney tunes and whatnot.
See? Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah. I ain't gonna front, I call myself singing though.
See?
Whole new world, huh?
Whole new world. My goddaughter was right there laughing at me, singing with me. I'm like, when I realized how cheesy it was, I was singing that mad loud.
What was the best part of that?
Honestly, just seeing my goddaughter happy and the kids, yo, they just...
Aww.
Such a family guy.
I'm saying, what part you enjoyed though?
Enjoy it?
Yeah, what
Beauty
you
and the Beast? That ass.
Beauty and the Beast.
Everything else was what? Beauty and the Beast. They added Moana to the jump off.
Okay, that's what's up.
They had, what's that shit with the Frozen? There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, that had to be there.
Yeah, my God.
Yo, but I swear to God, they was annoying because there was a little girl behind me with one of the glowy things. But it sang. So it was like Let It Go, the song. Yo, I was so annoyed that I wanted to look back at the phone like, yo, tell your kid to turn it off, fam. No lie. Yo, no lie.
I'm trying to enjoy this show in peace.
Yo, no lie. They had an intermission. There was a guy next to me. He's like, intermission? The hell is this? And I'm like, I'm with these kids. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what this is.
My first time here.
Nah, it was my second time. I didn't care. I said, yo, this happens, man. We all men in here. We know what's going on. Yo, intermission was real long. The first thing come right off the bat, Frozen. I done just heard the damn song 20 times as a little kid in a glowy stick that sings. And now all of a sudden, let it go. And I'm like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
I'm about to, I don't know who I wanted to hurt.
And she ain't let it go.
Probably.
She really didn't.
She did not want to let that go.
And I was just like, okay. But honestly, it was cool though. I had fun. I had fun. The kids had fun. It was cool. I came out like a hot ass mess after that because of the popcorn and icy all on me. Looking real tough at that point.
Penny had an eventful week.
I mean, that was the highlight of the weekend.
Ain't nothing wrong with that at all, you know.
Me, not so much, but it's alright.
Yeah. I mean, we don't party no more, so those days are over.
We getting old for that word.
I ain't never lie, yo. I swear to God. Last time I invited Paul out when we did the...
Listen.
He was tired. He was tired of
Open bar?
Yeah, he was like, yo, friend, I'm tired. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm tired. And I was right there with him, like, yeah, I'm tired too.
That was pre this. I was getting all this stuff ready so we can be here today. Like, you know, now it's coming to fruition. Now we got something happening, yeah. And now, like I said, I don't sleep anymore because I'm always doing this. If you don't hear from me, see me, whatever, just know
he's
working.
He's in the studio.
Trust me.
Yeah, I'm in the studio getting no. Just in the studio, in the crib, and on the laptop, and the PC, pressing buttons, clicking things. But
I mean, we all busy, you know, doing our thing.
You know, life happens in different ways, you know, different times. But
Double tap?
It was doing it, but at the same time, somebody was texting me, so it was like, you know.
Double tapping on somebody's picture, huh?
No, I double tapped to wake my phone. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I don't like pictures. I don't like pictures on Instagram because it be snitching now. Instagram be snitching.
This nigga said be snitching.
You go to somebody's profile, you see so and so like this.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Things be snitching.
Things be well.
When you go,
Facebook.
when you go,
Facebook be snitching.
Listen.
When it tells you, never mind. I ain't gonna go into that story.
The internet is a place where you gotta tread lightly.
But now I want to know.
You have to tread lightly because your name be right there on Instagram. You liked it or you're following them. And
I remember. Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is, if you sleeping.
Listen, man. Listen. So we're not gonna go there.
That's too long of a story. But
I want to talk about Eminem.
Yeah.
So you know, rumors been going on that he got an album coming out. We finally got the first single, "Walk on Water" featuring Beyonce. So we listened to it earlier. What do you guys think about his Return was about 4 years now since the last album.
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years.
So what do we think about his return?
You want to go first?
Okay, I'll take it. To me, it's okay. I mean, to me, a lot of Eminem stuff is either really catchy or sometimes introspective, it makes you think, and other times it just pop.
Right.
Which is no different than Drake. But
I mean, there's a big difference between Eminem and Drake.
right, but I'm talking about the ranges of
Okay.
where he goes for at times. But I think the sentiment behind it is good. The song doesn't really grab me much. I think he's trying to say something like, he thinks people rely on him to want to be like the savior of hip hop. And it's the era of mumble rappers. So he just he thinks people want him to be the savior or one of the gods to bring us back to revival. But that's what I get from the song.
Okay.
But I don't really care for it too much.
Got you. Finny, what you think?
Honestly, when you played it, I was like, oh, Lord. I didn't want to.
So it was your first listen?
It was my first listen, and I was like, I instantaneously told myself I need to listen to it again because I lost interest quick, fast. But I did also tell you, yo, I expected too much for, Homeboy was gone for a minute, and if we're really going to go back to what you were saying about, if he feels that way about wanting to save hip-hop, it's because y'all need to remember back in the day when Nas first came out with, yo, hip-hop is dead, people really had to listen to it and be like, yo, he's right. Nobody really thought it before until the year the mumble rappers. Okay, cool. But y'all need to see how that looks now compared to Emma's gone for a minute, or if Jay was gone for a minute, even with the whole New York thing, they want New York to be the mainstream back of rapping, not Atlanta or wherever the case in point. But listening to that, I was like, I'll take another listen because, from my perspective, I think I just wanted something upbeat from him. Okay, granted, yo, you've been gone for a minute. To me, it's like, I didn't see nothing wrong with him being gone. Because I guess it's just him.
So you feel going for good? You want him to retire? Or
no, not. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, we good with you out here. Like.
Because he didn't put no music out for this. To me, I felt like I didn't miss him. Because it was just Eminem to me. So whenever he came back, he was just going to come back. And he was going to do a good job. I guess, my perspective, maybe I expected too much, or maybe things have changed. Do you as an old veteran rapper have to go in with the times, or do you do what you do? Because I bet you if DMX come out right now, from the 90s DMX to I'm sorry, early 2000s to now,
I still want that Christmas album.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah. Rudolph
Actually
reindeer. I know what.
Actually playing, bro. You need to make that happen.
So my thing is like when you playing it, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to listen to it separately and give you more feedback because, like I said, it just didn't grasp me. Right. That's my opinion. If hip hop is looking for him to be the savior, they need to wait a little bit longer.
Right. For that, I mean, I want to hear your take on it too, Paul. But just something right quick is like, it's not that we're getting caught up like how other mumble rappers get caught up, where it's like. We know lyrically it's garbage, but we listen for the beat. It's not like we listen for the beat and saying, and from the beat alone, we're like, oh God, this song. It kind of sets a tone that the kind of monotone, beat for that. It just kind of sets a tone of just downer almost. But and maybe that can maybe tear away from the message in it. But we actually do listen to lyrics,
right?
Depressing ass beat.
We actually do listen to it. It has a depressing ass beat. You really
do.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry. What was the title again? Walk on Water.
Walking on Water.
Lord, I instantaneously thought that Jesus walks, but I'm sorry.
Well, that's why. So the hook is, but I ain't no Jesus. So right there, she's telling you.
You want me to be the savior, but I ain't the savior.
I ain't Jesus. No.
Now, my take on it is not that he's saying that y'all want me to be the savior. I think he set himself at a high bar that he feels himself. So I think it's more of a self-inflection kind of song. So as someone that writes, I'm not a rapper, I'm not comparing myself to Eminem in any way, but as someone that writes personally from within, or sometimes a therapeutic or what have you, just to be an outlet, what I got, because if you know, first listen, you heard it. If you really listen to it, it's him. In the background, you hear him scratching and crumbling up paper. So it's like him being torn with kind of what you said. What does an Eminem in 2017 sound like?
Correct.
In this era of quote unquote mumble rappers. So it's like a point of him trying to figure out, do I conform? Do I be me? You know, and what am I now? You know, he's been through some things since the last time we heard him. He's off drugs. You know what I'm saying? His daughter's, I think, away in college now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So life is different from him now. He's not gonna kill Kim. Well, he might, who knows? But killing Kim is something that
he might get her.
We're in a politically correct world now. So is it even safe for him to make gay jokes, kill Kim, do this? Can he be Eminem anymore? So it's more of a point of now he's like, the last album he called himself the rap god, but now he's taking that back a little bit. It's like, damn, I set the bar there. So when I come out, people expected me to be godlike. But do I have it in me? Do I still have it in me, or do I? You know what I'm saying? Because even after all of that, it's more of a I'm only human. But then the last bit of the song is him reminding you. But by the way, I made Stan. So Stan is still his #1 hit of all time. So he's still saying I had a pinnacle moment in hip hop. You know, no matter what I am now, you can't take away what I did. And speaking of like quote unquote mumble rappers, they're all here and gone. So it's like even at 40-something years old, he's still here. People do still want to hear what he has to say. The expectations is one thing, and that's why I never was a fan of singles. You hear an album single, and if you look at M's track record, My Name Is. He most of his singles was clowning the pop artist of the day. It was always a poppy song, clowning pop. It was just a fun song. So this is completely not that. So it's now you're like, all right, we're gonna hit that. Whoa, pump the brakes. This is something like you said. It's your expectation was something totally different. And I always think back to when Jay and Kanye made Watch the Throne. It was two artists, top of their game, and they were like, they made Otis, and Kanye was like, we gotta put Otis out, we gotta put it out. And Jay was like, no, let's give them the whole body of work so they can get the whole, because it wasn't just them sending verses to each other, it was them making the album together. So Jay's mindset was give them the whole body of work so they can take it piece by piece, dissect it themselves, play it through. They might replay track 1 again, they might replay track 2 again, but they're gonna get the whole body of work instead of having a week of Otis just playing and people getting in their mind what the album's gonna sound like. Kanye is like, get it out there now, put it out there now, put it out there now. They need it. The streets need this. Or, whoever want to hear this, and it kind of happened. We heard Otis, and we thinking up tempo, but then we had the Black Excellence joint, and then, so we had some more introspective songs. Welcome to the Jungle. Yep. It was some deeper songs than just in the Otis video they broke the Maybach up. It was that song. So when you hear a single, you get an idea, because like I said, the album not coming out till like another week or so. So now we got a week of one song that is gonna be set in our head. He might come out with something else,
making assumptions of the press music where it may not even be that.
It may not even be that.
Kind of the same thing as because back to you were saying about you don't like singles. Same way how you didn't like Kendrick Lamar's Swimming Pools.
But in the context of the album, I didn't like Swimming. When I first heard it, he's like, I'm like, I'm a Kendrick fan since before I put you on Section 80 and all that. So again, as a fan, I had Section 80 in my head,
right?
And I hear Swimming Pools. I'm like, what are you talking about drinking? And I'm like, that ain't the Kendrick I know. That's not the K Dot that I know. Just be rapping, just be foreign. And he talking about swimming. Give me a swimming pool full of liquor and I'll dive in it. I'm like, But then when you hear the album,
It fits
and
completely.
it's and most singles are like track
definitely-
2,
he definitely did the
track
Alcoholics.
1. That was like track 11. That's near the end of the album because it's a story.
Yep.
So then you like, I get it now.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that's why it's singles are very, singles in music is hard.
Yeah.
If you, especially when someone like Kendrick or someone that's telling a story throughout the whole album, the single doesn't give you the whole story. It could be like Nelly. Remember Nelly had Country Grammar and then he had EI, and he was just giving you songs.
Right.
So he could drop 5 singles that are all just popping, just 5 singles, because then you're gonna buy the album out. You're gonna buy the album just because they all 5 singles was just hard.
Right.
It was just fun songs. You know what I'm saying? So singles to someone that like I said, Jay is someone that's like about the body of work. Jay-Z's like, even though he doesn't tell stories like a Kendrick does, but it's still a cohesive body of work. And today there's only a few people that are still doing cohesive bodies of work. A lot of artists now, like you'll get a mixtape, like Drake. He's just putting songs on there of different genre types and things like that. Because it's like, you'll like these 3 songs, you'll like these 3 songs,
Also,
I'll like these 3 songs.
He just threw it because I know Fab and Jada are doing releasing a mistake. What, like a week or 2 next week?
Well, they've been talking about it for like 2 years.
No, they actually releasing it.
Yeah, Black Friday.
Okay, Black Friday. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jason and Freddie.
Yeah, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's also the standpoint. Sorry not to interrupt you, but even what we were talking about before, like even when I said, my expectations was kind of high, and even when you were talking about how hip hop wants some of these OGs back, I'm not gonna lie to you. When you hear the Locks coming back out, just any of those OGs, you have an expectation because you remember the bodies of work that they came out with before. So yes, the 2017 version of who we expect from late 2001 or whatever. Thing is, we're just like, yo, can you survive this transition now? And we don't know. Like he said right now too. Also with that's your first single. Okay, I wasn't hooked to it. Now I'm not gonna just dismiss that album.
Right.
No, I need to know.
Because he's earned that. He's
bringing a bigger point to now where can some of our OGs survive the new era right now?
Right.
And we can't make that decision until their new music comes out. We can't just be like, oh, he can survive that. How about if Jada can't or the Locks can't? How about DMX could? Like, we don't know.
Right.
We have to wait. Unfortunately, like he said, you're not gonna get the body of music. You're gonna get that single first.
Yep.
And that single's gonna determine
And that single
if we want to listen to it or not.
because the Jada and Fab released a single a couple months ago, and I wasn't feeling it. The thing is with
Did
Fab,
they? See, I didn't even know that.
Fab, and going back to what I was saying about M, about do I conform or do I stand to my trueness? Fab conformed.
He did.
We had the soul tapes, but then we had the summertime shootouts, which is straight current music.
Because he had that song with
He still give you some bars every now and then.
My
He had
fault,
that
yo.
song with him and Uzi.
Right.
Was
Go back,
that
man.
song you talking about? My fault, because he just mentioned something. I just remember hearing something that I think he put out with Jada. It was a flip mode. Yeah, I didn't like it.
Right.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't
Fab-
like it too much.
Fab-
But that's my personal view about it.
Fab is trying to fit in. I feel he still give you bars on a song or two. He'll still give you bars on one of the current beats or whatever every now and then.
Right.
But then he's singing a lot, and so I feel like he's conforming. I don't feel like Fab is pushing the limits or anything like that, and that's a letdown for me.
That's because he's comfortable where he's at, though. He's never gonna go. You can tell Fab doesn't want to reach for a higher goal because he just wants to be at that point.
Fab just wants to eat.
And I get that.
that's what he wants.
And I
that's what
get
he
that,
wants.
and that's a job. It's more of a
For
job now than a
for
love.
him, yes.
I don't think the love is in it anymore for him, and that's a problem. Because if we're looking at the top artists now, and that's so. I mean, we might skip ahead to this topic, but I think current state of hip hop.
Oh, we flipping it. You can edit it.
Yeah, the current state of hip hop, though, I look at it like, you know what I'm saying? We look at the OGs, not even OGs, truthfully, but dudes above 30. Kendrick, J. Cole, Drake, and of course MJ, Fab. Those guys are above 30. Those are the guys we're still looking for.
Yes.
Well, that, as you say, we're looking.
That we're looking for, right? That we are looking for, and now it's one of those points where Jay dropped 444, and 50, who's another OG, said it was too smart. And the kids just want to party, da da da. And he's one of the people that are pushing the narrative that hip hop is a young man's sport or young man's game. Do we feel that that's a true statement, that hip hop is a young man's game, or what do you think about that?
I would interject first if you don't mind. Honestly, when I heard that interview with him, and I can see why he said that, as it was smart because it was pretty much relating to what he's going through, and Jay never went into that point of his life where I bet you any amount of money the first people hear 444, the first they want to hear was a hot single, and meaning party single, and they weren't ready for his life experiences at that moment.
I don't know why not.
Me neither. But at the same time,
so when you say you understand why he said that, why 50 said that?
Why 50 said that because
why do you feel 50 said that?
Because these young kids only care about is these dumb rappers saying nonsense.
So again, he's conforming to the current state instead of
50 is
right. 50 is right.
But 50, he I know.
But it's true though, because you see a lot of like us will listen to 444. You get one of these young Thundercats out here, they not listening to it, or that better yet, they're not understanding it. They haven't gone through life experiences. Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh, Jay."
So isn't that what they need? If you haven't gone through anything, so how old were you when Reasonable Doubt came out? 96.
11.
Did you listen to Reasonable Doubt then?
I ain't listened to Reasonable Doubt until I was maybe 16.
So you were 16 listening to Reasonable Doubt. So by then, that was 5 years later. So at that point, Reasonable Doubt, Volume 1, there's a body of work from Hov.
Yeah, by that time, I think when I first started listening to Reasonable Doubt, I was at Volume 2.
So at 15, you went back.
Yeah.
Do you think 19-year-olds would listen to Jay-Z and go back?
44? 444?
Listen, he got 13 albums. Do you think, knowing that Jay-Z is Jay-Z, would a 19, 20-year-old choose to look back to any of those 13 albums?
They probably would.
So if they would do that, then why would they not look for 444 and look to learn? 15, 16,
because
17, 18, 19.
most of hip-hop now, if you look at it, everything is a hip dance or a quick hook, and people are so caught up with whatever's going on with the Amigos and anybody, and there's little whack rappers that I guess that they just, it's like you said before, 50 is on the narrative of the now and what's going on, and I agree with what you're saying because it kind of looks like it's going that way. And they're
What way?
They're not listening to the message of hip hop, but all they care about is party.
So is that the problem?
Yes, the problem.
So is 50 part of the problem?
I don't remember the last. To be honest with you, I don't remember the last song he put out. That's
irrelevant. If he's saying whatever his career is, we know 50 doing movies, whatever. If he's saying the kids don't want to hear that, they just want to dance, I'm gonna put out some dance music. Him being an OG himself, is he part of the problem or part of the solution?
At this point, he's gonna be part of the problem.
So therein lies the problem, because if Jay is putting out 444, which is something people should listen to, whether you 15, 16, 17, 20, 30 years old, it's something you should be hearing.
If you want to be a student of hip hop,
of life,
of
life,
but hip hop is life too. So it tells you a lot of stories, even though some can be manufactured and stuff.
Right.
Still,
but again,
it still gives you perspective in life, and it gives you perspective in the game.
Right.
If I may cut in to it, when they were talking about 444. Honestly, and I know a lot of people share different opinions to it. A lot of grown people, older than I or you, feel that, they didn't like 444 because, they have this idea, or I don't know if it's an idea. I'll say they conformed a lot of their ideals to the young man game. They want to feel young again, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
30's a new 20. When he came out with that one.
Jay said that.
And Jay set a lot of trends and made it happen. But, you know, I love 444. I thought it was a great album, start to finish. There were a couple of tracks I was like, it could probably go differently, but still the body of work, collective body of work was awesome. But it was definitely a great reflection of his life. You know, because we don't know the extensive stories of his drug dealing and so forth like that. But from what we know from the social media standpoint,
right?
From
the incident elevator,
from the Solange elevator incident. You know, I mean, we talked about this in laughter, but literally 3 albums came from the elevator.
You already,
you know, Solange's, Beyonce's, and Jay's now. So, you know, it's definitely great to hear his standpoint to things, to life. It was a grown man's album, and that was a problem for a lot of people. It was a grown man's album. It wasn't a contemporary trying to keep it with the times album.
What about these hoes?
He doesn't care about that. He's past all that. And Jay's always said, if you want to hear some old shit, listen to my old albums.
Right.
You know, he's not going to change. Jay's one of those people who has cemented his legacy. No pun intended to the song he has, but you know, he cemented his legacy as that dude, as that rapper. You know, he's made a name for himself. He doesn't need to conform to anybody's games or anybody's vision to stay relevant. I mean, he's made lots of business deals. He has a lot of business ventures. His music is still, to me, is still great. To a lot of people, it's still great. You know, he's a family man too, and the fact that he even come clean about your infidelity or you know to even admit you could have been a better man. You know, that shows Jay is not trying to keep up that, you know, I'm hip hop gangster kind of image, whatever. He's showing I'm a grown man, you know, but I can still spit these bars.
I mean, he always has been like that. I mean, he eloquently put, Hove did that, so hopefully you won't have to go through that.
Exactly.
He said that, you know, way back in Nation of Izzo, like even since Reasonable Doubt, he's been trying to say what not to do.
Right. He say, I did that, I lived that.
Yeah, so he's always been that way. This is the most personable album because, like you said, the social media era. We all know about the elevator incident, so we got details that we can kind of pinpoint events to. Whereas in the first album, we didn't really know him, so we didn't know, you know, his mom was Gloria. We didn't know about his brother. We heard the story about him shooting his brother, but we didn't know who it was. We didn't, you know. Now we we can tell the story like we knew this man.
Right.
Back then it was just a story, so we didn't know how much credible it was. You know, 2, we were just like, it's a story. You know, this guy's a fake gangster trying to put. Then we like, no, he's really been telling stories for all these years. So he's been doing it. It was just like now we had a 20-year reality check. Like, yo, he's been very open.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's.
Well, he was definitely maturing through albums. You could hear it. Like through each and every album he kept putting out. It was like, yo, he just had a different mindset, set of mind, everything. Every time, even any of his singles. And those different albums coming up, like, yo, he's changing, he's maturing, he's getting better.
I have another point, but I'll say that for another topic. But as for the other point, well, the other question is 50. I guess we can use the term sellout. No,
I didn't say
going back to last week. You feel like he's responsible,
but at the same time, it's selling out your own, what you were. You know, I don't know.
I got a question for you. By answering that, do you feel like YouTube? Do you feel like going back to your question to me? Do you feel like OGs like 50 and people in the rap game? Or you feel like they're destroying hip hop now for that mindset that they're having?
Yes. I feel like 50. So it's a big. So it
like, I'm not gonna just say it's him alone, but
right. And it didn't start today. You know, it didn't start when 50 made that comment. It was there already. It was already there. It's already happened. I mean, we have the industry now is at a point where, like we were talking about earlier, where and we listened to the Eminem interview with Rick Rubin and anonymous other guy.
Oh Lord.
Eminem is a student of the game.
Yeah.
Even in that interview, he's quoting LL Cool J. He's quoting rappers from yesteryear. So Eminem now is 40 years old or whatever would happen. But he's still quoting 30-year-old raps. Where we have rappers today like Lil Uzi, Lil Yachty. Yachty said it. You know, we don't listen to Tupac. I don't care about this, da da da. We don't, you know. So a lot of them shun
the game.
A lot of them shun the prior artists. So if you're not a student of the game and you're only picking something that's current, a lot of them now are just doing it because it's a quick buck. Why do we feel hip hop is a young man's game?
Because to me, I feel it's a young man's game only because it's kind of like basketball. You passing the torch down to the next man. So we have that pillar now, and we run that race, and after a while, it's like we know we're not going to be relevant much anymore. We have to hand it over to somebody that's going to take care of it.
But is it because of age or ability?
I think.
Because in basketball,
I think style. I think the style.
In basketball, with age.
Because I would not say age. I would say more so ability to perform.
I think it's style. I mean, with hip hop because like R&B,
like 47, right?
47. Yeah.
But I was definitely gonna. I wouldn't say age because, not to interrupt you, but as far as I don't feel like it's a hip hop is a young man's game. I just feel like it's just keeping up with the times. I see our old heads still trying to make it, still doing their thing. So you're right. It's definitely about your ability to perform. Now, can you change it and flip it back to your form of hip hop? I'll wait for it. If I like it, I like the song.
Sticking to your analogy, let's say Kawhi Leonard doesn't get hurt. The Spurs are up 20 against the Warriors. The Spurs are OG philosophy basketball. The Warriors are epitome of new school basketball. If the Spurs are healthy and beat the Warriors, old school basketball wins.
Right.
So it's ability. It was to the point where I believe. I'm not just saying you're wrong, but to me, I feel like if you can still perform, and again, Kawhi is young, but like you say, the times, the style, everybody's shooting threes. The Spurs don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. Style
they still
changes.
play defense, win championships, and they didn't win. Can't argue that. However, they showed that they still can compete with the new era of basketball. And like I said, they were up by 20 until ability was removed out of the game. They lost players. Duncan was forced to retire not because of his age, but because of his ability.
But you know, a lot of you know, and I never said age per se is the reason.
Right, no, you said more so the style.
Yeah, the style and stuff. And that's because everything changes. Like remember, the 80s hip hop was different than 90s hip hop. 90s hip hop different than 2000s. 2000s now we got this, and I don't necessarily agree that hip hop is per se dead because we still have a lot of really good artists. They just not other than the mainstream Kendrick, J. Cole, Joey Badass. You know, other than a very select handful of people who are lyrically and really talented.
It's a small hand, though.
It's a very small hand compared to the big pond. You have a couple of big time guppies in a pool full of, I don't even know what you want to call them.
It's alright. Don't even worry about it.
I don't even know what you want to call them, but
yeah.
you know you got a bunch of that, but you have this talent over here. But for some reason, it's the style, and I don't know who we really attribute that to. Like,
Well, we got to remember, this style is not a new style. I don't even like the term mumble rap because the flow that they're using is not new. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a sped up flow, but it's like a 3-6 Mafia was doing that back in the days. Yin Yang Twins. So it's not a new style. I feel so the bigger issue more so is the abundance of one and dones. I think we got a lot of people just out and they're pushed to the forefront because I think now the biggest issue is the record label itself. The record labels are quickly trying to figure out how they're going to make money.
That's
because
true.
they're doing everything. They're readjusting. They changed the rules of the game. Like going to your point of styles, the rules of the game are changing every day. Now streaming is worth this. Now YouTube is becoming eligible for stream counts and sales. This means that you can go platinum off of one song being streamed a bunch of times. So the rules are being adjusted, and it's not to, because at the end of the day, your contract is your contract.
Yep. But
the money is trickled down from what the label gets first, because at the end of the day, the label is loaning money for the artist to get the studio time, get the production. They have a budget for such and such, and this, that, and the third. That you owe them that money back. Plus, hold on. Plus, the money that is being generated is still going back to the label first. So that's why a lot of big name artists are not even trying to play by those same rules. Jay said Sprint bought my album. Taylor Swift is doing that now. T-Mobile's buying her album.
Even Jay before that Sprint thing,
he did it with Samsung. Right. So the rules are changing.
Magna Carta.
So the rules are not the same. You can have a label, you can have a company buy your album. You can have, because there's people have two ways of trying it now. Jay put out 10 songs. Chris Brown put out 45.
Yeah.
And the goal is the same, because now it's streaming. If you play those 10 songs a bunch of times, you may still get the same result of playing those 45 songs, not as many times. So it's not none of it ever meant quality of music. It never meant quality. But now it's just, okay, Drake put out a mixtape. He got rap, he got R&B, he got pop, he got reggae, he got London, UK rap. You're going to like a couple songs. You're going to find one you like, and you play that one song, it doesn't count to a single, it counts towards a record sale. And the label wins when it comes to that. The label gets that kickback more so than the artist does. These are label winnings and earnings that they're adjusting. Billboard, the charts, and the this and the that, and the value of this, and all that stuff goes back to that. So one-hit wonders used to be one and done.
Right.
Geraldo, Rico Suave, Trinidad James. I'm just going back, but like they used to be laughed at. Now you get a hit and one done, you get a little fame.
Right.
You can get on Love and Hip Hop. You can get you
quick, fast.
You your Instagram is popping. You can perform that one song. You perform it at the Summer Jam stage. They have a festival now, so you're at the festival stage performing. Young and May was at Summer Jam just with Ooh.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you get by with that one song, but they're using you because that one song is gonna generate money, and all of them are tied in 360 deals and all that stuff. So now, before when it was just an artist deal, your performances and all that was your money. Yep. Now with a 360 deal, the label's getting your merchandise, your performances, and all that. So all this is for the label. That's why they care about one song. They don't mind you only got one. They don't care. You can put out an album of trash.
Well, once you got that
as long as that one song, and they'll put all the budget into that one song. They'll put make that one to get the Migos on it, get somebody on, boom, we got that one hit, push that out there. And then they'll say it's the song of the summer, or it's the hit. Now the ball's rolling. Now you got the SoundCloud, the YouTube, the Spotify, and everybody stream it one way or another. It's making it a hit, and it's crazy. They used to have payola before, where they used to pay the radios to play the songs, whatever. Now they ain't gotta pay nothing.
Exactly.
As long as they put it on the internet, quick, fast.
Once it's on the internet, somebody reposted, retweeted. We are now.
And you have different.
We're
the machine now.
Spotify, Google, iTunes, all that stuff.
All that.
So, I mean, somewhere along the lines, we stopped. I don't know who the we is either.
When I say we, I mean society is a collective.
I'm saying, but somewhere along the lines, and I'm not sure who we is at this point. We stopped rating rappers on lyrics and started caring more about their beat. And
when they started when the producers started to outshine the lyrics more so than anything. I mean, going back, the producer. It was Eric B. and Rakim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Run DMC made sure Jam Master Jay was shouted out. So it was always a collective. Pete Rock and CL Smooth. It was always a collective. But they were a team.
Yeah.
It came a point where when you heard Mustard on the beat, it was, you didn't really care whose song it was because you heard Mustard on the beat. On Chris Brown's song, on YG's song, on this song, whatever, and it all had the same sound. Yep. So we were listening to the same song over and over again with just a different feature. Yep. So Mustard became the guy. Yep. We were looking for Mustard.
Metro Boomin.
What's his name?
I'm trying to remember. I'm having a blank right now.
Yeah, but producers became the thing. I don't really know when the transition happened. It probably happened. So we know Rockefeller and them used to tie in Just Blaze. Yeah. They tied in their producers. Kanye's they were locked into the label. So after that point when producers had their freedom to venture out,
because even Swizz was Rough Riders.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So it was a point where producers were tied in. They still did work with other people, but the label was getting that best beat first. Yep. So you heard your best beat on so and so's track. Once the producers started to do their own thing, it was fair game. So they became the draw. Maybe it was around the time when Khaled started piecing everybody together. Just to hear DJ, like it was, you heard the name, you heard him yell out DJ Khaled. So it was like, okay, it's his song.
And he had a bunch of everybody else come on.
So he produced it. He was the producer. He didn't make the beat per se.
And then
but he was the producer.
If you look at the title, it always says DJ
Khaled
featuring
right
all the time.
So he could be partial blame for that transition.
Drama's another one. Is his production that signed Uzi or
it's his? He has an imprint. I think he has an imprint on I don't know what label, but they signed. They signed.
But still, you have they place emphasis on not lyricism, and I'm not saying even the best rappers were the best lyricists, but there was a way they spoke, there was a message to the stuff. Now it's really no content, and that's what things are like, content. Because even though people may joke on Cam, Cam had content. He may have his delivery may have been funny at times, but Cam had content too.
You know what's crazy? They can do it. I have probably one song I like from Uzi, one song I like from Kodak Black, one song I can find a song. I love that Tunnel Vision song.
Tunnel Vision dope.
And so I think they can do it. I think another issue is the A&R. There's no A&Rs in the studios or whatever saying, do this better, do that over. You should say this. So there's nobody really. They're just making the songs on their own. Like we said, they're uploading to SoundCloud.
Is there even A&R in general now?
Exactly.
I think they done took them out.
Right.
They're like,
I think who was that?
Nobody can take criticism.
There was a head A&R in Def Jam, and he left.
Right.
He left. Either he left or he got fired. I forgot which one it was.
He probably got fired because they figured, okay, we can save that money.
They don't even need A&R anymore.
Right. A lot of the time,
like you said, the power of internet, yo. Half of these things now, yo. We
cut the middleman out.
Like you said before, we do their job for them.
Yeah, they just signed the Catch Me Outside girl. So you don't need the A&R her. Her name is gonna sell. Yep. So you need this one song.
But you know what I mean, and that's a gift from the curse.
Rap.
I don't know.
It's a gift from the curse. Think about it. I mean,
look who we got.
Chance the Rapper. He's a great prodigy. He's a great prodigy from this era of I don't need the middleman.
Right.
I don't need to really be signed to anybody's thing. I can do my own thing.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I say the potential was there. So it could be just being mismanaged or misused by certain people, but the ability is there. And I mean, obviously, it's up to us to find what we like and choose that. It's up to us. However, majority of the people are just going for the quick fixes because
it's there.
It's there.
It's a hook. It's a
easy
dance.
Access, low hanging fruit.
But nobody's checking them on. Like what's a good song for you? Like,
right?
You just hear this poppy.
There's
stuff.
no checks and balances. Period.
It's none.
There's no A&R, and the OGs can't say anything because now you're old and bitter.
Too old and bitter. You're mad that you can't. Our fans are better.
Right. And 50 don't want to be in that. So he's like, let them party. They just want to party. And the party music's been there.
Yeah.
We've always had Kid and Play.
Yeah.
We've always had Rappers Delight was a song rap was like the epitome of
that preceded everything.
Of rap fraud. They were talking about sitting front row at the Knicks game. They were talking about their big screen TV. None of them had none of that. So that was when people talk about, oh, you lying or keeping it real. The first hit in rap was a lie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's always been there. It's just now the abundance and the availability is the issue. And I think too, it's what's being promoted.
Because even Hove had party songs.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's I feel like now, you know, what's being promoted and why. Like jazz music.
Yeah.
Could be a whole song with no words.
Classics.
Techno, EDM.
Yeah.
Could be a whole song with no words. So did hip hop just become part of like that?
Is
it a bad thing?
It's, you know, if you're making money, it's not a bad thing. But I think for the fan that wants to hear substance and substance with beat, you know, I think for us that want that, it's a problem.
It's not hip hop anymore. I think that's what it is. Hip hop had rules. So hip hop was the producer, the DJ. It was the DJ. We'll start with the DJ. It was the DJ. Then it was the MC who first used to talk about the DJ. So he was promoting the DJ. You know, my DJ is so. He scratches it. You know, he would talk about the DJ. And it was the break dancers. So it was the dancers and it was the graffitis, the b-boys. So it had those same, so dance, the music, and the words, music, and dance. See what I just did there?
Yeah.
Hip hop.
Body language.
So those are the elements of hip hop: the graffiti, the b-boys, the DJs, the MC. So hip hop always had rules. You had to, and hip hop was a culture. Rap was the music of the culture.
Very strong rules from back in the day.
It had strong rules
from the times that he's mentioning right now to going from the '80s Bronx, bringing up all the way to the Brooklyn, Queens, and all that. We had very strong rules back then.
So somewhere in there, the rules, it just became regular music.
Yeah,
it's not the rap music or the hip hop culture anymore. The culture is not there. Now we are just pop. It's popular music.
And it's not to say that you had to have the culture of being a drug dealer.
Right.
You could have lived an authentic life, but you just could have been a student.
Kanye was somebody who, made it big on just talking about himself and clothes and things like that. Lupe talked about comic books and video games. You know what I'm saying? So you could be yourself and still succeed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was just, like you said, the authenticity, or just, even if you had the talent, even if we didn't believe you, if you put it together in such a way, we were like, yo, I mean,
makes sense.
But it's just
I'm with
it.
And we always talk about it's the parallel, basketball and rap or hip hop. It was a different era back then. You had to be strong. You had to be focused. You had to put your best work out. If you didn't put that best work out, you weren't selling. If you weren't trying to put all that your time, your investment into that game, you're not in that game anymore. You trash. You out the league.
The coaches,
right?
So
it was different things. And then after a while, everybody started to change their ways a little bit. People wanted to be more friends and so forth.
That's what they were talking about mentioning. On topic, they were mentioning about how DMX mentioned, back in the day, we used to love battling. Everything was a battle. Even in your times that you're talking about, we battled to be the best, and it was okay because you wanted to be number one. Now, rappers don't even want to battle.
That was part of
better yet. These new rappers don't want to battle. Everything is we can be number one together. Nobody want to be number one, fam. Together, no. Show me who's better, you or him.
And that's why I love Kendrick more than anything, because Kendrick has no problem going out against anybody. He has no problem featuring with somebody, but at the same time, he will tell you, I am the best person. I'm going to be better than you on that track.
And it's like LeBron in the NBA. Every year he teases he's going to be in the slam dunk contest. He always teases I'm going to do it. And we all know he's afraid that he might lose. So now your brand is bigger than your artistry or your work or your your ability. And that's kind of what it comes down to. Everybody's afraid to lose because they don't want to take the L.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna take this L. Because it's a social media thing. Because now everyone's a judge because a meme will come out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a meme,
and that meme is ready.
And the memes are gonna run. The jokes are gonna fly.
No matter what, you can't escape it though.
Right.
You can't escape failure.
Don't you think you could be in front of the memes by just putting those memes out yourself? Like
that's what Drake did.
And that's what Jock did when he did that whole perm jump off to the side.
But that was selling out because he did it for the VH1 show.
Nah,
so
but
he had a reason for that.
Yeah, but you know he like anybody else. Yo, as long as I feel like you get in front of them jokes, you'll be fine. Yeah. Because you make that joke. It's like when you're a comedian or you roast or you make these jokes. Look, as long as you in front of them jokes or somebody's trying to make fun of you, I can flip that real quick and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Now, do we attribute the quality of music from maybe people taking a step back, seeing how Big Pop, how they got taken out, how they got took out, and then they're like maybe we don't need to be as hardcore as we once used to be.
I think the problem with that is the narrative that's painted that they died because of the beef,
and they didn't. But
we won't go down that hole. But we all know that the East Coast West Coast beef was created by media propaganda.
Right.
Pac said, "F Bad Boy, Biggie, and anybody running with him." People always swear Biggie didn't say nothing about Pac, which he did. Mm-hmm. He listened to Long Kiss Goodnight. You nobody till somebody kills you. And he wrote for Lil' Kim, and she had that song when she was like, "Your punk ass should have kept your head up." Like he was throwing shots at Pac.
Right.
But everybody want to act like Big was such an angel because again the narrative they want to paint, which is fine. Flex want to get on TV and get on YouTube and Instagram and talk about how people are saying Pac was such and such after the fact. They're doing the same thing for Big. Whatever. You choose your side. So that just shows you where that legacy is for both of them. You choose your side. You ride with who you ride with. Fine. Nobody's out here killing for it now.
Right.
So you can't say they died because of that. They died for other reasons, which the feds were following them. People got pictures and cameras, and C said what he said, he saw, and everybody said what they said, and we don't go down that route. But if I don't believe everybody's afraid because of that. Because even after the fact, we had Jada Kiss and Beanie Siegel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We had some battles and things like Ludacris and T.I. We've had battles of people that cared for the culture still. I want to segue into Meek Mill because I feel his ultimate downfall was him having a lot of yes men around him. Now tell me if you guys agree or not. We all know he's back in jail for violating probation. And I feel like personally, I don't want to see any man go to jail. Put that out there first. I don't wish it on him. However, I feel like he did a lot of things putting himself in a bad position. And we all know, yes, the judge might have had an inform or what have you. We all got a handicap against us. Our skin is a little darker than those that want to win or whatever. Fine. The ultimate goal is to not prove so-and-so right. So when he's on video hopping out of a Suburban seconds before Safari gets beat up, that looks bad.
Yep.
He didn't have to put his hands on him. Your mans did it. Yep. That looks bad.
And you being there, you're accomplice.
Right. When it's known that the Dream Chasers jumped Quentin Miller at a Foot Locker or whatever back in the days, that looks bad. Your team did it. You can say, I was out of town, whatever happened.
Team did it.
You get it by association.
Yeah.
When you popping a wheelie in New York City and your boy records it and puts it on Instagram, granted they said it was for a video shoot. They said it was for a video shoot.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's what the rumor is. I haven't seen the video.
I honestly thought it was the other way around.
That's what I'm saying. But his man put it on Instagram. So before the video came out, it's seen. It looks bad. Yep. So if your mans keep being the reason you keep getting bad publicity in this social media era, you're on social media constantly for bad things.
You have to change.
I feel like he needs to change his people. People forget. Mike Vick went to jail for dog fighting in his house. He didn't touch not one dog.
Nope. He just had the house.
He owned the house, so it's just nonsense. So your team, a lot of time, can be a downfall. That's how I feel. T.I. got off easy for those gun charges. He got off very easy. But what did he do after he got off and got that second chance? He did an MTV show talking to the youth about staying out of jail. He had his VH1 show with his wife and kids. So what did the judge see on TV every day, every Monday night at 9 p.m.? Me smiling with my kids. Not me popping willies, getting beat up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like perception. The judge don't know you, is not seeing you every day. The perception of online, if I Google your name, what do I see? Good or bad? And that's how I feel about it. Tell me what y'all think.
I totally agree with that. It's the look of things. I mean, look, even though Meek stayed off of drugs, you know, because he's been clean. According to his lawyer, he's been clean since January.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't he violated parole for that. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like he got the OJ deal, where you did something in the past, but we couldn't get you like that. So we just gonna find something and we're gonna get you locked up.
And we watching you, and you know we watch because we done told you, and we watching you.
But unlike and just like OJ got caught up, for robbery thing, he got 17, almost like a life sentence damn near for a robbery.
Still his own stuff.
For stealing his own stuff. Meek is out here, just doing whatever. But that camera's gonna kill you. Not this camera, but this phone right here. My phone, your phone, whoever's phone, and you don't need a password because all I have to do is just upload it to a cloud server that's gonna go right to Instagram or Facebook, and the world sees it. It's not like a girl checking your phone and needs a password and all this other stuff. It's for the public to see. So you're doing so much damage to yourself by letting your life just be publicized like that. And especially when you have so much heat drawn to you, like you're on probation, there has to be some level of sensibility that comes that says, I can't do the same dumb shit I once was doing before. My life is on the line.
Yes.
It's not even just my career, my life is on the line.
You have something to lose.
And him being a big artist, it's not, and I'm not saying, just like you said, I don't want to see any man go to jail.
Absolutely.
He could be the worst rapper in the world, and I still wouldn't want to see him go to jail for him being stupid. Unless he did like a triple homicide, then he needed to be locked up.
Right.
But you're on probation, you're out, you're enjoying your life, you're free. Why are you being a dumb young brother? And that's the kind of dumb shit that people see and want to follow. A lot of kids, they idolize this stuff. So when they see it, they're like, yo, that shit look cool. I want to do the same damn thing too. But there's a difference between your life and his life. A way big difference between
He's worth a couple million.
Exactly. You worth absolutely zero at this point. And if your mom puts you on some credit stuff and ran that up, now you worth nothing and negative.
You in debt, right?
And now you're ready starting from the bottom.
Yeah.
So Meek needs to actually. He need to be smarter, and it is his fault that he landed himself in jail because who you place yourself with is your responsibility and is your fault. So him landing himself back in probation, from him landing himself in jail off his probation stuff, it's because of the actions that he's done. Even though he done technically nothing. It's the perception, as you said, that's going to land your ass back somewhere that you don't want to be. And maybe he doesn't have that good mentorship. And maybe he's not being smart to mentor people to say, "Hey, don't do what I did."
Right.
Meek did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. He's not doing that. He's just out here being young and stupid. And maybe that's a Rick Ross problem because that was the one that he was associated with.
That is true.
No, Rick, you don't see Rick in trouble like that. You don't see Rick in trouble at all. Maybe that's his problem. You know, we part of the same group. You know, you're my label mate. I'm also your big brother. You know, maybe I should be like, yo, homie, chill out.
I don't know if it's true or not, allegedly, but Meek's lawyer was on interview with Angie Martinez and speaking about how the judge was going against everything away from the parole officer all the way down to the DA, ignoring them, stating that, hey, listen, what he did was, all right, he violated his probation, but guess what? He doesn't need jail time. Judge didn't care for that.
Oh, that's nice. You're going to jail today, buddy.
And the fact is, the judge negated what both those two said and said, hey, told Meek Mill, listen, I heard you got a new song coming out. Shout me out in that. Like I said, I don't know if it's true or not. This is what I heard. This is what I heard from the interview, and that was his lawyer. I'm like, okay, cool. But it's like you were saying from before earlier about your team. Like, I don't want homeboy to go to jail, but at the end of the day, it's who you have around you. And at the end, you're an adult. Dog, you have to make that conscious decision at the dream chaser. You're the leader.
Right.
Not Rick Ross, no. Rick Ross is your brother, big brother. Okay, but guess what? You're the leader. That means you hold it down. That means you should know better.
Right.
I don't want to see him going to jail, but the stacks are already against us when it comes to our judicial system for this color right here. So you're giving them more ammunition. Things out here from social media, rat you out, internet, all that. You're right. All you gotta do is put the video up. We all know this. He knows this. You don't. People out here, there are people who don't have their freedom, and you abuse it. Right. Now, all right. Granted, nobody want to see you go to jail, dog, but you put yourself into the situation. There are repercussions for this, and unfortunately, when do you really care? Are you really caring that he going to jail or not? Because you put yourself here. You can easily be like, I don't have to be out here. Do not put me in. If you wasn't making a music video, for real, like I said, I don't know if that was or not. Because actually, you shocked me because I thought it was a Snapchat thing.
It was.
If you are on probation, you do your damn best to stay away out of anything. At this point, if you're on probation, so you don't have social media.
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. When you really look at it before how social media went down, where you could actually do whatever you wanted, to now where Facebook is so dangerous that when you apply for a job that you have no idea that these corporations look at your stuff, which they don't tell you. It's like a cloak. You don't know if they're looking at it or not, but they do. And if you out here with these bottles in your album pictures, partying every weekend because that was the old you, but the new you ain't like that. Right. You just happen to have old pictures that you never deleted because you care less for Facebook. Unfortunately, you got to go back now and delete everything you have because that is not the you, and they don't want to hire that wild animal doesn't come in on Mondays because he party Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or whatever the case in point. You over here wasting this money shopping with all these bottles in hand and all these women on your side. That are you going to come into work on Monday? Are you responsible to come in at all?
Right.
So you're going to tell me that, dude, they let you go. You got your freedom. Freedom that some men can't get.
Because that was the thing, too. Like, a lot of people are making the point that, he's been on probation for 10 years. That's better than 10 years in jail.
Exactly.
And I don't want to seem like I'm bashing Meek. I just feel like instead of us saying free Meek now, we should have been yelling at Meek, stay free then.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he was on probation for 10 years, and that is unorthodox.
But he was still doing tours and
he was still making money. Right. So you still had the freedom to walk outside, make some money. You had Nicki Minaj.
And go to other states because in reality, when you're a regular man, like if this was any one of us in probation, you're not going out of state for what? You can't say tours because let's say if we go on vacation, I can't go because I'm on probation while y'all go to Mexico. Oh, I want to go with y'all. Y'all my family. Yeah, well, you shouldn't have done what you did. Now you got to wait another, 5 years?
There was even
you said, 10 years in probation is better than 10 years with exceptions. That's not even 10 years probation without the exceptions that we get.
He was living with Nicki in LA for a while. He wasn't in Philly for a while. So,
but look at the reality is it's okay for a artist or entertainer to have those luxuries. But if it was us, but the thing about it is this: we're smarter when it's us, when we're not entertainers, because we're smarter without going to jail, knowing that we have to be smart about our team and who we have. And who we have in our corner. But now because you're an entertainer, you can't be smart enough. No, come on, dog. Seriously, like. I'm all about, repercussions and everything like that, but you have to know better and do better. All right, yes, I'm sorry you have 10 years of probation, but you know what? 10 years of probation is way better any day than having 10 years in jail. Some people can't even make it a several months, close to a year.
Right.
You know what a year being in a box? Nobody knows what that is. I don't want to know what that is. And you know what? Sometimes throwing yourself in the box is better than getting shanked unexpectedly in what? Month 1, week 2? So sometimes you gotta do something crazy to end up being crazy. Right. You have you get a luxury out of probation. Niggas don't get luxuries.
Yeah.
We don't get luxuries. Entertainers get luxuries. For being on probation, for getting arrested, for DUIs getting fixed. I'm sorry. You can feel bad for an individual like that all you want, but when the game is fixed and rigged that way, dog, you getting way more freedom than any normal individual can get.
Yeah.
On a great day.
Yeah.
There are some people who, and I'm not saying this
and
is
you can't
him.
fix your team?
I'm not saying this is him, but there are some people who are just, jail is a job for them. They come in, as soon as they come out, they're going right back in. And that's some people's lives. I'm not saying that's his, and if it is his kind of job, he needs to change that job. But I can't speak for the man. I don't know.
But they're giving him what, 2 to 4, right?
2 to 4.
Is he in already, or is he's on the works of getting
in now? They saying that
he's in now.
He's in now, and his lawyers are trying to appeal it. It could take a year.
Okay, so he's in now, starting that 2 to 4. Shit. Damn,
so
no break, sir.
I know of a person who had fed time, and when they got out, they were on probation for 2 years. The first few months you couldn't leave the county, and then the remainder of the probation you could leave the state, but you trying to really stay as close as you can to whatever, but you have to abide by the rules. Like you did so much of staying off the drugs. Right. That's an applaud for that. If you can do that, then you can do other things to change the narrative. We have publicity, people. I can be your publicity. You can be doing all the dumb stuff in the world as long as you don't put it on social media or have somebody else in your team put it on social media. But I can just take a picture of you just walking into a church, posting that, whatever, hashtagging your name. People with camera phones or whatever can change your narrative just like that. So all I gotta do is take a picture of you just make you look like an upstanding citizen, and having that flood the internet rather than you showing the other dumb stuff that floods the internet, and that can keep you out. But no, you're allowed because you see it as soon as people see it. Dude,
he could have easily changed that energy into what he said before, like with the whole T.I. thing. He could have flipped that and could have just He could have just went to these schools in Philly, dog. Like you're telling me he couldn't just flip that and use all that extra energy.
That a photo op, just like Jerry Jones made the photo op,
and just change it and saying like, listen, you guys just need to be smart. Look at me, I'm here now.
Even
yes, he's young.
Just take the picture. 30. He's 30.
30 now. All right, so look, he's 30 now. You got to be smarter, man. You can't run. You can't be running like you was 20.
Right.
But he's 30, acting like he's 20. You're not changing. You're not. If you notice. Even Jay-Z's crew, his crew has changed. I mean, he still has Bleak as his ace. He still has he has a handful of a team. It's not like how things were back.
They all have jobs, and they're all bosses of some division of his thing,
and they're all put in position.
And the reality is that you get older, your team changes. Some of the guys in your circle may not be here no more. Some of the guys you actually know for a very long time are still here, but that's what they're doing. Their own things, trying to better themselves. And unfortunately, at this time, if you still have somebody in your circle, your group of friends, and they're still doing the same thing that they were doing a few years ago, still running around getting in trouble, maybe you should tell yourself, yo, am I outgrowing you? Or are you going to get me into the situation? Even if it's not that, like, you know, work-wise, relationship-wise, anything that you know that a friend can destroy, that you're trying to build, maybe you're not for me. And like you said, it's all about perception on the internet and what's going to be out there. Dude, my team just jumped somebody that I had nothing a part of, but guess what? That's my brand. That's my brand right there. Right. Dream Chasers. Oh, hey, look. Guess what? Your team just jumped somebody. Damn near put him in the hospital.
Represent me.
Oh, okay. I got nothing. And you can use this. You can use this in court.
Because what are they going to say? The newspaper's going to say, rapper Meek Mill and his team, crew, posse, gang, whatever they want to, label it that. They're going to put his name first.
Same. You know what? So, the thing with the Nelly.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Posse, gang, crew, niggas. They're going to say Meek Mill and some niggas. It's going to put his name first. He might not even be there. Yeah. He might not even be nowhere to be found. But once they see the DC chain,
the association.
It goes right back to him.
The same thing with the whole Nelly situation where allegedly this girl got raped on his tour bus when he was like, yo, I was nowhere near that bus. But guess what? It was your bus.
Right.
They don't matter. So at this point, even to a point where some of these male entertainers and actors, they're so scared that somebody's going to claim rape that like, nah, look, we can't be alone here.
And if you're scared,
I need other people in this room.
Right.
Now they're scared. Careful. Now they're scared of getting into a point of getting lawsuits.
I would rather that. Yo, can we do this? No.
No.
Hey, can we? No. I'm on probation.
No.
I'm on probation. Hey, can we ride these bikes? No. Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna be over here. I'm gonna be driving in a Wraith in the Phantom that he was rapping about.
There was a Chappelle Show skit, I think, when he was like, no, it was Chappelle Show. No, it was Boondocks, the R. Kelly trial, and he was like, I need to have this person, and this person inside. It was Chappelle Show. It was the R. Kelly thing, R. Kelly trial.
Okay.
And
I'm trying to remember.
And he was because it was the girl getting peed on, whatever, and he was that's the grandma saying that's my baby. You need to have people. You need to have people who are in the position of holding that hold your life in hand. Police presence, a lawyer, somebody that's gonna say this is okay,
right? And
then say, hey, is this okay for me to do?
Right.
And then have that.
When they said randomly go to a cop, hey, listen, I'm on probation. Is it okay if I do this? No.
Notice his lawyer now is on Angie, is on Ebro, is on Breakfast Club.
It can't be him because
but everything is after the fact. Yeah, it's after now that he's in jail. Now he want to start a whole campaign.
Where was his lawyer all those times when he was doing them reckless things?
When all this was going off, the lawyer should have been visible then. My client had nothing to do with that.
His side, like
my
most
client
of the
had nothing to do with that.
It's a bad situation, that he puts himself in, and maybe that's I don't want to say, it's a young mentality when you're dumb. You're just being reckless and dumb, not even really caring about what's going on. You're not even trying to change the narrative about you. You're not trying to change your position or your place. You're staying stuck.
Stuck in the same place.
What was the Alice in Wonderland thing? The Red Queen's race.
Oh,
you running in the same place, not going anywhere, man. You keep landing yourself in bad positions, and then at some point you gotta say, you can't blame anybody else anymore about it. You have to blame yourself.
Because you originally can't even blame your team at this point.
Oh, I remember it was a supervisor, manager, Al Robinson, Best Buy, Best. You did it to yourself. That's what he did.
I'm not writing you up.
You wrote yourself up. You did it to yourself. Shout out Al Robinson. Right. But Meek and anybody else that follows the same path is, you're being watched. There's some things you can't do, and you can't use a celebrity to get you out of every last thing.
Right.
And the touring thing, maybe he did have, I'm pretty sure the lawyers or whatever did try to clear him going to some places.
Yeah.
But then there were some places where they said, no, you can't go at this certain time. And
Right.
he was like, I'm making my money. I'm going to go on tour. And, dude, you got to understand, locations get canceled all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You need to work that out with the label and the court
Exactly.
system.
If you got to check in, call, make phone calls, you do whatever it takes. You just got
Live stream from the bathroom. I don't care, dog.
Right.
You gotta make any kind of appearance.
It's like you can't avoid random drug tests, dog. If you're on probation, like just don't do it. You're
Right.
good.
Yeah.
Like they could easily show up in your crib, like yo, just put your hands up on the wall. We're gonna do this drug test. What the hell?
Because that was another thing that online social media is complaining about. They were like, oh, the judge would check up on him or pop up on him, and they were like, oh, that's unorthodox. And I'm like, but he knew. It's to the point where if you know the judge
went like himself. You mean like
herself?
Herself. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But to me, it's like fine. But once you know the judge is doing that,
Your lawyer should have been on it.
like, cause I'm everything they're saying now that she used to check up on him. She asked him to dedicate a song.
Yeah.
She wanted him to change management. All this allegedly happened
that
2 years
shit
ago.
was crazy.
But all this happened 2 years ago. Again, why are we just hearing this now?
Right.
If that's what happened with his last parole hearing, that should have been news then.
Right.
That should have been taken care of at
You
that
can't say,
moment.
but she don't like him. She didn't like him for the last 2 years. Well, we just hearing this now. That's a problem.
All those subpoenas, I'm sorry to cut you off, all those subpoenas, you're absolutely correct. All those subpoenas and everything like that, that's unorthodox for a judge to do things like that.
And that should be brought up at that moment.
Asking for requests of songs and
Yeah.
just things
If
like
that's what happened.
If allegedly that's what happened, yo, that should have been instantaneously. I need another judge.
And make that
immediately.
public. Make it public.
Because all of a sudden,
this judge is wild.
Because if all of a sudden now I can't travel and so forth, now it's becoming quid pro quo.
Yeah.
You know, I do for you, you gotta do for me.
Right.
So you know, I'm keeping you out of jail. You know, even I know you're missing drug test dates, or I know you're traveling unauthorized, but you making songs for me. You know, and I'm taking care of you for that.
Right.
That's quid pro quo. That can't happen.
Right. And you rapping, make a song about her, tell them what she's doing.
Even if you're gonna be slick about it.
You know what I'm saying? But you got ways, but don't wait until now that it was said and done. Yo, she didn't like me. She never liked me from jump. Like I had a teacher that when I was in high school, Mr. Yevon. He was a racist teacher. I knew that. I used to be the rebel in class. Outbursts, just mocking him. Used to be a rebel and stuff. My problem was in the battle, he was in a position of power, so I already know he doesn't like me. My idiot young self didn't do homework. What happens? He called my mom. Why you ain't doing homework in class? Because he don't like me. Why didn't you do the homework? That got nothing to do with you doing the homework. After the fact. If he didn't like you from day one, I should have said something then. But instead, I'm going head up with him. But he's in a position of power.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, he calls her and says, Paul's not doing his homework, he's failing, yada yada. All that other stuff is irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, I could have just did my homework and he'd had nothing on me.
Yep.
No matter how he felt, it'd have been on him to say, well, he's failing. Why? Because here's the homework, here's the test,
Right.
here's that. If I had all my bases covered,
You've been good.
I'd have been good.
As long as you see why, as long as you cover your ass.
right. But at the end of the day, I gave him ammo.
Yep.
To win the battle. He could be laughing. I got you, little nigga. I got you.
He loaded the gun.
I did it to myself.
He loaded the gun.
All I had to do was do homework. And I'd have won that battle where he'd have been mad like I gotta pass you.
This nigga handed him the bullets with no problem. Here you go.
And I was 15 years old. Meek is 30 now. I'm not making that mistake now. I learned from then. I learned from back then how to handle things like that.
I think we kind of know now, like even our age, we all in a similar age where you don't just give the police, the judges, all these guys that ammo.
Do we feel that Jay-Z does enough? So even putting out 444, he's always been vocal in his stance or his feeling of the state of hip hop or what have you. Could he do more? Is there anything he could do? Or is it a losing battle because he's by himself?
You know, those are a lot of good questions, man. Damn. And I feel like it could be a little bit of everything. Does he really need to do more? I mean,
There's a need. There's gotta be a need for some either gatekeeper to, or even.
Are we gonna all put it on Jay though? Like,
not even all putting it on Jay,
because I'm not saying that what you're saying that we should, but I know we've all met some particular person that will probably leave it all to Jay.
But I'm just saying, if anybody could, who would that be?
Who else would we rely on? Damn, you got a good point. I would love to see Nas come out with something right now. I would love to. Because he's my other dude right there. Like, yo,
right.
that was my guy.
So
But it's like, I know for a fact, I will tell you the same thing how I went with the whole Eminem situation. Because I'm a fan of Nas. What are we gonna throw at me right now? Am I gonna expect too? This is my downfall. Am I gonna expect too much?
Even without the music, could Nas say more?
I think Nas could say more, just like I think Jay could say more. I feel that maybe Jay-Z has grown into more of a father. So I think maybe he wants to school more. At least.
You mean strictly for his 3 children, or just?
I think not just for his 3 children.
Okay.
I think him as an artist and also as a businessman, he wants to see better for the industry. And there are some people who really don't see anything wrong with the industry. I don't know his sentiment on how he feels about the industry. Maybe from that line he said, "Who would you rather be, old rich me or new you?"
Right.
You know, so I think he even understands that he gets shots at from these young cats and so forth, and then he's flipping it and saying, "Well, I'd rather be me than you," and I don't know if that's a reflection of how he feels about their art, or just about how they're so little in terms of their finances when it comes to his.
Do you think he has to be less subliminal and just be more direct?
I think every rapper needs to be more direct.
Because I feel like maybe his message is missed because of the entendres, or
But Jay's always had the entendres,
right?
He's always had a slick way.
But I'm saying, like, to sometimes to speak to the people, you got to speak their language. So if the listeners are more simplistic today, now maybe he needs to dumb it down.
Thinking about 444 in particular. I mean, he even I think it was it Moonlight when he was talking about I'm in the skirt with you and how everybody sound the same. So yes, Jay has actually made mention of how he wants everybody to be different. Like you all sound the same. You all wear the same clothes. Nobody's different. Be your unique person, and that's a reflection of how he was in the rap game and so forth. And now nobody has that uniqueness to themselves. Everybody wants to be the same. Right. Kind of like how everybody wants to play AAU basketball and be friends. Right. That could be a hindrance to Jay, only because he's actually conscious about it, not afraid. But it's not. I can't even say it's like a hindrance to him, because Jay is so big in stature that it doesn't matter what he really says in terms of trying to, in terms of turning off a fan base, because he really is that rap god.
When Sprint bought $1 million worth already anyway,
and then also tied it together with Tidal,
right, which he owns. Yeah. So he's not worried about sales. So again, he can put out whatever he wants to put out. So do you feel? Do we expect more from him? I mean, the last album was 4 years ago.
Yes.
Do we think something's coming sooner than later?
I don't know. I think after 444 just felt like I had something to say about the state of hip hop, as well as my family affairs, as well as the beef between me and Kanye and other stuff. Yeah. He addressed.
It was a current events.
It was a current events thing, and I don't think Jay at this point needs to really, in terms of a song or an album, I don't think he needs to do much after that. Unless he's being attacked, then Jay will probably clap back on somebody in a heartbeat.
I think he'll probably wait a while because he just had those kids.
That's what I'm saying.
He's mainly more focused on that.
He has Blue, which Blue had, probably one of the hardest lines at 444.
Verse of the year.
Boom shakalaka. That was hard.
Verse of the year.
That was hard.
Never seen a steal in my whole life.
She living a better life than me.
She had the verse of the year.
But
easy.
He's a family man now.
Right.
Like he understands. I guess him learning from that Becky situation, probably made him a better man. So he's worried more about the family life, the business ventures, not so much the music. And besides, he still has the Live Nation deal, or whatever, and he still has people under him. So he can always make money off of everybody else. He doesn't need to do it himself.
Right.
Now, I think that album of his, which people are either applauding or hating, created a buzz for what we think is fake news with the concerts. Or it's concert sales. Because you have one report saying concert sales are struggling because StubHub, which is a reselling ticket site. You're not really buying. It's not like Ticketmaster. So it's whatever's been sold or whatever that Ticketmaster don't want to sell, they just float off to somebody else. And they're saying that it's struggling because tickets are going for $6, $20. They're just trying to sell tickets. But there's another report saying that it's the highest grossing concert he's had. And then you look at other pictures from concert venues, it looks nothing like it has an empty seat. So, but is that more of a creation of media just to try to get more revenue, or is it the mystique of Jay kind of dropping because of 444? Him being the more introspective Jay. Like people wanted, other than Bam,
right? Not much up tempo.
People kind of like fell back from him. So is it the mystique of Jay that's falling back, or which could make tickets go for cheap, or is it he's just getting older and people not appealing to him?
Right. You want to take that?
I think it's the part that he's getting older and people are not appealing to it. Because as sad as it says, and I know we definitely spoke about it earlier about how 50 is destroying the game with the people who also had a hand in it. People just weren't ready for that mature of a Jay-Z album. You're right. Sometimes when you listen, singles can make you think of something totally different. I don't know what was his first single was in 444.
He released no singles.
All right.
Everything came out after the album came out.
So it was like, you heard Bam, you're like, oh man, this is crazy. But then everything else after the fact, you wasn't expecting his family drama, that whole Kanye West thing. People sometimes nowadays, they just want to hear that banger. Unfortunately, you need to listen to some substance. Go with maturity. Some people can accept it, some people won't. Is it our fault? Is it our fault, or is it the industry's fault? We're going to blame labels, we're going to do this, we're going to do that third. As far as the concert sales, I'm not going to lie. I ain't looking into that because I can't afford no Jay-Z tickets. I'm not doing that.
They going for $6 now.
I mean, from earlier discussions.
What you need, Finn? What you need?
Let me holler.
That's some stuff right now.
I got you.
You know what I mean? But
what you need two? You need two?
let me get two, Finn.
I got you.
We're going to make it happen. So Fetty, plus sex, I need the 50.
Yeah.
Bring in there, fam. We're going to download this right now. Nah, it's just, people lose track of how he went from Reasonable Doubt and he started maturing all the way through. You're not always going to get that club banger. And, he had real life situations going down. This dude he doesn't really have to make music. He doesn't have to. He chooses to. He chooses to come back. Do we put too much on him? Maybe. Maybe not. But it's like, who else are we really going to mention? We can't other people have other rappers to them who they want out here. I just happened to mention Nas when I was talking to Paul right now. Other people may want to see Jada or the Lox do better. You know, everyone has their different mentality. But the problem is, some people just go back onto what they remember. Yeah, do we have to change and adapt to times? Yes. But how far are we going to go down with that road? You know? Can we be better? Can we do better with the hip hop game? Maybe. We never know. But it's like you said in the earlier statement. Yo, sometimes the young people have to come and take that from us and change it. Could it be for the better or the worse? Paul was like, I don't like calling this the was it the mumble rap?
Mumble rap, yeah.
Mumble rap. He don't like that term. All right, cool. He doesn't like that term. Guess what? He changed it and adapted to something that they were doing this way before that. Some people may not even know that. The young kids may not even know that. But guess what? But guess what? Some of these industry people could say some of what he just said right now.
Especially,
but I don't hear that from like a Ebro or Charlemagne. And if I do, then you know what? I misquote that. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I said before, I haven't seen an interview where they could have said that. They just go with those statements that we've said right now.
But think about it. Like, even if it's the people who are like Yachty or Uzi, who don't care to go back in history and who care to go back to other albums, if they just got introduced to hip hop and they're not trying to go back, then all they have is Blueprint 3, Magna Carta, and this. You have totally different Jay-Z than we grew up with. He's evolved more. He's grown up more. So it depends on how many of us are going to concerts. And honestly, a lot of us have jobs, careers, can't take off certain things, have other engagements, may have kids, other things they're doing. So it's not like the concert, it's kind of like the line in his song. What's more important? Like what's more important than buying $300 tickets? Credit. Like we got other engagements. We have other money tied to other things.
Especially when now when you can get concerts put on YouTube.
And especially as many times as we lived, and we had other opportunities to see Jay-Z in concert. We seen it all.
I think that's an us thing because U2, Rolling Stones, Grateful Dead, them dudes toured until they 70 years old.
They have a following.
And they have a following. Yep. So, and a lot of times, that's not even off new material. So, 444 is like 40 minutes long. Yeah. He's not giving you a show of just those songs.
He's definitely.
So we know we're getting hits from the back of the day. Yeah. So we can't even say, yo, that's gonna be a boring tour because he's only gonna do. He's not doing those 10 songs and the other ones that came on the CD. So we know we're gonna get the
reasonable doubt.
We're gonna get all that. We're gonna get his catalog.
Because for us, it's like, okay, I can't wait to hear when he says this.
Right.
But then for the people who are just coming into Jay-Z, it's like, man, I don't want to hear Ambition.
Right.
I don't want to hear, whatever other song he had, the single on Magna Carta.
And another thing too is nowadays a lot of people go to festivals, Henny Paloozas and things like that, pop-ups and festivals and inclusive venues. Concerts themselves may not be the draw anymore. Again, except for those. It's been 10 years, reunion tours of these old heads that somebody 50, 60 years old, like, oh, I'm going because I haven't seen them since before my kids was born, or, you know what I'm saying? So there's that nostalgia factor of so Jay to us right now, or even a couple weeks ago, there was a concert that had like DMX, The Lox, stuff like that.
That's the ceremony concert.
Right, Busta Rhymes. So why can't we go to a Busta Rhymes concert? You know what I'm saying? Why we not, if Curtis Blow is in town or somebody want to do a show or something, why do we not go out for them as, people go out for Grateful Dead and U2,
Wonder.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? Why so going back to the question before about, is hip hop a young man's game? Is it a stigma that we let it be that we just bow out? Like, yo, Because hip hop is only 44 years old itself.
True.
So hip hop, you can't say something is something if it's just finding itself. It's only 44 years old. So it's been a young man's game because it's young. You know what I'm saying? So now we have Curtis Blow from the beginning still out here. You know what I'm saying? So now we can see, well, what, can we get Curtis some love? Do kids know not If I Ruled the World by Nas was originally a Curtis Blow song?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that.
I don't even think kids even know it nowadays that some of these songs, like what you just mentioned right now, were even sampled. Like even going further back to even the songs that we think are old are even older than that.
And they go back to disco and, and club music.
I don't think no one knows that.
They know. The people that care know. The people that are students of the game, like Eminem is, like, you know what I'm saying, that can quote lyrics still to this day. So and so put a you know, it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up, man. You can go from there. Like Jay do that at his concerts. He'll put a Biggie joint on. He'll say the first line and just put the microphone out.
Yep.
The people that want to go to it and you know go to the concerts, they can just quote off the top of their head old 10-year, 15-year-old lyrics or whatever. So when we keep hearing something it's a young man's game or such and such, we're being told that. Now is the time where somebody has to say no, it's not. Jay's trying to do that.
Right.
He's the biggest name of he's 40 years old. Curtis and LL is older now, but LL's doing TV. He's doing lip sync karaoke now and things like that. But Busta Rhymes and so and so, they're out here. They need bigger venues. Busta don't really stop touring, so it's not like that. Oh, I haven't been to a concert in a long time. You can kind of go to him whenever because he's always out there.
Right.
But Jay again hasn't released an album in 4 years, so this should be a big deal. Why do we feel that we're being told to not go or to not support because he's old now? Is it something that is being pushed on us?
To ask a question to that question, going to what 50 is saying, about being smart, do you feel that if Jay conformed to wanting to sound with the times, that it would help his presence?
He would be like Fab. He would just what's the meme? The Homer Simpson meme when he slides into the bushes?
Yeah,
slides right back out. Yeah, change the size.
A lot of young cats don't even know how old Fab is, because Fab dresses and looks and then raps and makes music like them.
Yeah.
So that's going back to the Jay-Z Moonlight point. He's not trying to slide into the bushes, so he still stands out, but he's hated for it. So now 50 don't really care about the music anymore like he used to. But he's got something coming out.
Yep.
So now he's always been a beef kind of guy whenever something's coming out. So his rollout is, I gotta throw some shots
at somebody.
If it's on BET, I gotta get Irv and them out of there for their joint. If it's Stars, I gotta talk about whatever show they got on this. It's like he's always. So now it's like, yo, Jay, that was cool, but nobody want to hear that. They want to hear that party stuff. I got you. I'm coming soon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dude, why are you stepping on somebody for your own personal gain? Like, and he's always been that way. It worked with Ja. It didn't work for anybody else. When he dissed Jada came back with bars, didn't work. Yep. Rick Ross, he had the skits, they were funny, didn't stop Rick Ross. Nope. Fat Joe, didn't stop him. Nobody else it worked for. Truth be told, the only reason he did beat Ja was because Murder Inc. had some legal issues. It wasn't because he didn't really kill him. They had personal stuff.
Yeah, 2 wins. Game 2, yeah.
Game's still out here though.
True.
Game had longevity. He's still dropping something, and again he
documentary too that came out last year.
You know what I'm saying? So did he really? Their beef again was personal because of the label and all that stuff. But it was like he ain't get him out of here. Ja career was done.
That's true.
But again, it wasn't because
that's because the label.
It was the label, right? You know what I'm saying? Jada, Joe, Rick Ross, prospering.
Yeah,
prospering.
Yeah,
Game
still going at it
out here. So the aura, the image that 50 portrays, he's the bully and all that.
I think outside of New York, like the hip hop from Atlanta, anybody, they're just really united. And where 50 tried or whatever he attempted,
he didn't try to unite. He tried to destroy.
Whatever he attempted was to destroy.
I mean, they had that argument on the radio too. Him and Ebro went back and forth on that
because he wasn't with it.
I don't know if I could. I mean, I think he kind of united when he had Jada, Ja, and Joe do the 100 clip. He kind of united New York against him. Right. So I can't even say that was part of the reason why New York rap fell. That brought New York rap together more than anything. Right. I just think we started chasing the Southern sound, and again, it didn't have to be the boom bap, the old lunchroom beat. It didn't have to be that. We lost the soul. Yeah. The soul music we used to sample when Diddy stopped really producing. When he made Big's albums, and it had that soulful feel. When Kanye made Beanie Siegel's albums, it had that soulful feel. Once Kanye stopped doing that, the soul was going. Just Blaze had the new rock sound, but then he started doing EDM once Rockefeller. So it was like a lot of people that were making the New York sound stopped for whatever reason. So what's the New York sound?
A lot of other acts, like rock and roll acts, like Aerosmith, whatever, or Frankie Beverly and Maze, Earth, Wind & Fire, Chicago. A lot of the older acts. I think a lot of reasons why Stevie Wonder, the reason why they are still successful to this day touring is because their sound has standing the test of time. Its longevity, and also they haven't really wavered from generation to generation. Like Stevie has made music from the '60s to this day, and it's all his music has kind of sounded relatively the same.
He's the producer. He's the writer. So he does all that. So when you do all that, your sound is gonna be you.
He doesn't have to conform,
right?
And a lot of the other older artists that are still touring to this day, they don't have to conform to standards.
So again, it's a hip hop thing.
Yeah,
the rules that we set have hindered and helped. And now it's an implosion.
And because it's always changing, it's ever changing. Even R&B changed, but a lot of the acts from R&B, like it turned real raunchy in the 90s with Jodeci and stuff like that. Because the 80s are kind of innocent and so forth. 90s came, we gonna freak right now. You gonna take this right now.
Well, it took points from hip hop, from rap.
Right.
You look at Jodeci and them; they were wearing the Timbs, and they wasn't wearing the shoots like New Edition and dancing, and it was grab the crotch and point at the camera, and I'm doing you, girl, like you know what I'm saying,
swinging all the way. You know what I mean?
So rap,
knocking boots.
And truth be told, rap right now is the most popular genre of music. However, it's not the populist. The more popular music and sound is not the one we're proud of.
Right.
And that's the issue, when we push to the forefront the crap. The simplistic music, that's what's catching. So the lyricism and the messages and the introspection is pushed to the back. So now rap, the hip hop we love is in the underground again. And they're pushing forward. At the time it was Vanilla Ice, MC Hammer was getting pushed. Now they didn't have to manufacture somebody; they just picking it off social media.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Before Vanilla Ice was all right. You need this. Give him some pants.
Right.
It was pieced together.
You had parody.
Yeah.
You had a parody back then.
And we got him out of here.
Yep.
We saw that. Even Hammer was a thug from Oakland. But with the pants and the dancing, and we were just like, nah, man. But again, remember, he was getting Pepsi commercials and all. He was popular.
Yep. He had
but it wasn't hip hop. He was like, nah.
He was popular.
So now what's popular is not getting checked. There's nothing checking what's popular now. So now it's
It's like we let loose wild animals and just called it a day.
We used to call Will Smith corny. Will Smith one of the best storytellers in hip hop.
And never cursed.
But look at parents just don't understand. I think I could beat Mike Tyson. Like he had stories.
The LeBar story.
Well, I know I can be Mike Tyson. And one round,
lost.
one punch, all I need.
Never lost.
And my boys would knock him out before the fight even starts. But you know what I'm saying? Like Will Smith was looked at as corny. But it's like if you really listen to his music and you watch the video, like you look at parents, you don't understand. He's telling a story. He's talking about driving in the car. Like he's painting a visual, and he don't get the credit he deserves because he didn't curse.
He really doesn't.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
they didn't want to acknowledge him as real hip hop.
Even Rakim.
And he stood up the Grammys. He won the first hip hop Grammy, but because it wasn't gonna be televised, him and Jeff didn't even go.
Yep.
So he stood up for hip hop. For the culture and the genre that didn't really rock with him.
He still stood up for it.
He stood up for it because he was like, I'm from Philly. We all know the song, West Philadelphia. Again, a story. He's telling stories. A lot of his verses are great stories that he don't get the credit for.
Yep.
But he stood up for hip hop, and hip hop still was like, yeah, but you don't curse. You ain't sold no drugs. So again, our rules backfire on us and kind of.
The only time.
It's like we pick and choose who we want the rules to work for.
And the only time, not saying we, but only time hip hop even let Will rock is when he was making pop hits. Summertime, Miami.
Oh yeah,
Like that's the only time he rock. Like, and then Will didn't start getting respect until late.
Until you started making the movies and stuff.
You know, but you know, even that song using the Bill Withers thing, just the two of us. I'm talking about at that time, just him and his son Jaden. You know, that was when Will was starting to get respect, but then the music stopped.
Right, because he started doing the movies.
He started doing movies and left it all.
Like yeah, he really has some great stories. Just the two of us, another great song.
It is.
And he paints pictures well. People forget he had it. What, didn't he get a scholarship to MIT?
Yeah.
He's freaking smart, and he's right. Like I said, I when I hear the music, I think of poetry, and if you were to just read his lyrics, you can vision like you're reading a book.
Yep.
He's painting
He paints the picture.
The videos gave you the full description, like you think a parent just don't understand. You get the picture, his room, mom, and but it's like if you just listen to it and close your eyes. You get the picture. He's a great storyteller.
It was like what you say. Hip hop didn't care for that.
Despite everything, he wasn't saying I'm a drug dealer on the block.
At that time, it was a soft image for hip hop. They weren't about that.
And now the soft image.
You had to come harder. Well, yeah.
And now the soft image, it has
wearing dresses and shit like that. That's
really
the cool
soft,
thing.
right?
That's
really
the real cool thing of being hip hop.
No offense to that crowd. You know, we gotta be PC nowadays.
Man,
I don't know about that last part.
Man, listen.
They can say that.
So, alright, so recap. Eminem's new song. Are we looking forward to the album?
I'm looking forward to hearing it.
You looking forward to hearing the album?
I mean, I'm not gonna just base it. I know we were just talking about singles. I'm not gonna base it. I would hope.
But listen to the single. Listen to the single again. You only heard it like once, so just put your headphones in, not the phone speaker. Put it,
Word, like I said, to me,
to me, it's a work of art. I think it's crazy. Him and Beyonce, because again, Skylar Grey wrote it, and I think if she would have sung it, it would have sounded like a typical Eminem song. I think Beyonce being on there and saying those words, it's funny because when social media took over and artists had groups, we had the Beehive and the Stands. So both of them have one of the biggest followings of their artistry. So for them to say, I can walk on water, but only if it's frozen. I'm not Jesus. Like to say certain things like that, it's like, yo, y'all got the biggest cult followings there is. So it's like, for anybody that can say that, it's them. So I think the artistry of it is very deep. The compilation of them on it, what she's saying in the chorus, what he's saying in the verses, I think it's impactful. Meek Mill,
do better, fam.
I mean, you don't have a choice right now.
Don't drop the soap.
If you have internet service in jail, please watch.
2021.
Do not Snapchat that.
Yeah, don't Snapchat you watching it from jail. Man. You just
Snapchat that. Let me know I made it.
Do it under an alias. How about that?
Something, bro. Like, I don't know.
Jay-Z's ticket sales.
For me, I think it's just buzz just to try to get people to get more people to come to the concerts, or just to have a total sellout of the concerts, because it's already making money.
I think it might be the opposite. I think it might be them trying to deter his success of the tour.
having the news.
I think they're downplaying the fact that, because I think it said it's the highest grossing.
Right.
So they're like, yeah, but there's an empty seat right there. But yeah, we're charging more for these seats. People are coming.
Right.
So I don't know. I guess it all depends on who's spewing the narrative.
Right.
And State of Hip Hop, to sum it all up, is State of Hip Hop in a good place?
Shit,
No.
trash beat now.
So the culture itself, the hip hop culture,
Can do better.
I mean,
But is it looking better? To me, honestly, it's not.
To me, State of Hip Hop is it differs on the narrative. That's it. It differs on the narrative you wanna follow.
Yeah.
hey, and on that note, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the show, hit the like button. Share it. Tell your friends about it. Let them know what's going on. Also, hit subscribe and the bell to be notified when new content is loaded, because there's much, much more to come.